Yo, your boy SRG Poe. Back again with another one, man. Got this song off and we gonna start this bitch. This is Poe playing, this is me. We Ain't the Same, one of my singles.
I want the tea like a Philly. All in my pockets can't fit it. Nigga got handle his business. Putting it down in the trenches. I knock it out just like I'm Tyson. Lead to beat it just like I'm Michael. We only talk max in the rifles. We spot the bitch out cause she trifle. We smoking them pounds at the turkey bag. Disrespecting you left in the body bag. Cup it down the trap in the Louis bag. When you went from the shooter looking at the camera. Murder, and that's all that she wrote. Murder, you fucking my dope. Killers move when I say so. And they all at a bankroll. Close the door, let me tell you something. Camera down like we duck hunting. Sounding type on no nothing. Chopping shit like Paul Bunyan. Getting it in cause I know how. How you chopping with no mouth. Make it rain with the ones pal. Gathered up with a snow plow. Nah, we ain't the same. We ain't the same. No, we ain't the
Plus this motherfucker ain't even released yet, so y'all niggas the first motherfuckers to get the area. You feel me? You feel me?
No, we not the same. We not the same. Yeah. I ain't that nigga talking down, but he sitting around. Always looking for a handout. Pocket watch a wise man's count.
That line's true right there.
Take him to the back, like a nigga. Hit your hood up for practice, nigga. Told her if it's wet, I'm diving in it. See this one, my beside energy. I'm just waiting for the pill to kick in. Hit it and quit it. At the back door, I whistle like I'm Andy Griffin. Diamonds dancing these scullet bugs. I be rapping, but I'm still a thug. Fucking all these niggas hoes. But my name ain't Buddy Love. Fat pockets, yeah, the money chunks. I want it all, fucking run up. I run it up, but it ain't enough. I came up off jacket shit like we from the bluff. Used to want be AI, not Elon Musk. Game sharp like a board tusk. All this paper came with more paper cuts. Now we cutting up like nappy cuts. Lame niggas can't match with us. If you plot, nigga, pack it up. When you hear that beat, it ain't a garbage truck backing up. You ever heard a real nigga down with something? Same. We ain't the same. We ain't the same. We ain't the same. We ain't the same.
Yeah, man. Y'all lucky, man. Y'all got to hear it, motherfucker. Ain't nobody else heard it yet, man. But look. Yeah, man. Today we're gonna be talking about. Remember I told y'all in at one video where when I hit my lick, right? Well, this is how karma came back up on a nigga. So peep game. Here's the lick or whatever. What's so crazy about this shit? Where I was in the apartment I was living at the time, we was paying like $700 rent. You feel me? So I ain't have a lot of money. All the little cheese I had, I used that on the gas and the you know what I'm saying, other little shit that I had to get. You know what I'm saying? And oil for the car. I had an oil leak for the car. All type of little shit. You hear me at the time? So. You know what I'm saying? The last little piece of change I had the little weed. Remember I told you I got the little... So the only thing I had was all this weed or whatever that I had. It's crazy, I had over 60 pounds. And I couldn't even fucking pay my rent, bro. You feel me? I couldn't even fucking pay my rent. So people, until I made a sale or whatever first. So then I had to pay my rent in like 4 days. So people gang. Nigga, when we had robbed dude or whatever, one of the duffel bags that he had bought us had some panties and bras in it, like bra and panties and shit. So just keep that in your head while y'all listening shit, that one of the bags that I took from dude had some bra and panties in it or whatever. So, peep game, like, and to my knowledge, I'm thinking the bag's empty. You feel me? Like, when I got to the crib and shit, I took all everything I hid all the little pounds in different little spots and this and that or whatever, right? Until I was getting ready to move it to my other little spot to where we trapping shit at. So peep game. I'm making little calls and shit. I'm asking motherfuckers. I'm trying to get rid of rid of some of the weed and shit so I can, you know what I'm saying, get a little service. So everybody like either broke or niggas is trying to get a deal on like a real, too much of a sweet deal on that shit. You feel me? Like one of my people was trying to get me to sell them the pounds for like 1,200 a pound for the good ass smoke I had. I'm like, hell nah, nigga, y'all got me fucked up. So cuz was like, shit, that's how much I get mine for or whatever. So me being me, I'm like, I'm trying to test his bluff. You feel me? I'm trying to call the nigga's bluff. So I like, how much you get him for? He said 12. I said, well, here, call your nigga right now and tell him I want 5 of them motherfuckers. Tell him give me 5 of them. He was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna call him in a minute. Call him right now. Cuz never called this nigga. That's how I knew it was a fucking lie. He was just trying to get a nigga. So I'm like, fuck him. Not like fuck it, but fuck it. You ain't get, it's a rap. I'm not giving niggas no deal like that. Plus, every time niggas came up, I had something like, I ain't gonna lie, cuz looked out for me, but cuz ain't never gave me like nothing for free. You feel me? Cuz looked out for me, but he ain't gave me nothing for free. So by him looking out for me, when we was all going in on the weed a long time ago, when we first started selling weed and shit, like I owed him money and everything. I ain't gonna lie, I owed cuz on a couple of little zips that I was coming to get and everything, and he let a nigga slide and shit. You feel me? But so what I did by that, I was like, just so you did that, I'm gonna take off a nice little number. You feel me? I'm gonna lower the number for you a nice amount to where you can buy shit and then and then it's him. Like you got the best shit in the city. This nigga he was trying to get me to give to him for cheap. So I'm like, man, fuck that. I'm good. So next thing you know, goes back to the crib and they remind you. The whole time all this shit's going on, I had a warrant for something that I fucking missed court or something. You feel me? But I had a fucking warrant or whatever. And like I think I was probably on the run for about a year on this shit. You feel me? On the run, like I said, I knew I missed court, but I forgot what day I missed court, so I knew I had a little warrant out for my. But I'm on the run for a whole year until this shit happened or whatever. So, nigga, I guess at the cop, I think I had just dropped my girl off at work or something earlier that day or something, I don't know, but I get in my car. I'm on my way to the store to get some Rellos. As soon as I get to I'm going towards the little speedway out there on K Run and shit. As soon as you know where the K Run, the McDonald's, and the City Girl, all that shit is. If y'all from Louisville, Kentucky, you feel me? Y'all know where the fuck it is. I'm on K Run or whatever. So I'm going to the speedway right there by Big Old Tires and the rallies. And you know how you gotta get in the middle, like right there by the liquor store in the speedway. You gotta get in the middle, make that left, and you turn right there in the speedway. Nigga, I see the police officer behind me, but I'm like, man. Plus, matter of fact, the car was in, the tags was expired. But the tags and shit was expired. But peep game though, at the same time as my dumb ass, like, I ain't gonna say I was dumb, but like peep game. The tags was expired, but me and my girl had went to the Nielsen and shit, and they was telling us that we had to come back up there to my type shit. So we like, fuck it, we'll just go up there to my and get this shit done or whatever. Cool. So, like I said, this was the next day or whatever. I'm going to the store getting the Rellos. See the police officer behind me. I'm like, damn, this nigga ready to see my motherfucking this nigga ready to see my motherfucking the tags and shit expired. Boom. This nigga puts the lights on. Matter of fact, I had the warrant. I take it back. I had the warrant, but a couple of days earlier, I think a day earlier before the day before this, I put it on docket, matter of fact. I put that shit on docket. For some reason, some told me go down there and put that motherfucker on docket. I went down there to the courthouse, put that motherfucker on docket, and then they gave me a court date. Boom, cool. So now, like I said, and my motherfucking tags was expired at the same time. The next day I was supposed to go get uh uh go get some the tags and shit. You feel me? So anyway, this nigga pulls me over, y'all, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and in the back of my truck, a little bit ago, like I had a whole lot of shit in my trunk, so I had to have it's a little black string to, tie it down so the trunk can like stay closed down. So my dumb ass forgot to take that black string off, so the black string was kind of still hanging off the trunk and shit too. So I think that's another reason this nigga pulled me over too. So peep game. Nigga pulls me over. He was like, "You got anything on you, da-da-da," asked my information, this and that. So I told him who I was and shit. He was like, "We can browse my information." He comes back, he said, "You know you got a warrant." I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "I put that motherfucker on docket yesterday. Day before yesterday, something like that." And he said, "This nigga, like, I ain't gonna lie, like, every time I get pulled over, like, I ain't like everybody unless, like, if I know I ain't got a warrant, this and that, sometimes I be talking jazzy to the motherfucking police, fuck y'all pull me over, this and that. But if I know I got a warrant, I'm all calm and shit, and usually, sometimes they get me the fuck off, like, being so calm and shit, that take a nigga far away, like, a whole lot of niggas be getting manhandled and this and that and put out the con shit, because they be getting smart with them and shit, but, you know what I'm saying? I'm calling him sir. I'm calling dude sir, and shit's a black dude. I'm like, "Yeah, yes sir." You feel me? I went up there and took care of that shit, and then he was like, so he asked me, he was like, "So you got the paperwork?" I'm like, "Yes sir, here it is right here." He was like, "Hey man, stop calling me sir and this and that." So I'm like, "What?" This nigga like was really getting mad. I was calling him sir. So I'm like, "What the fuck you want me to call you then? Like, what the fuck?" I'm like, "All right, cuz." You feel me? "All right, cuz." Ooh, so when I called him cuz, it looked like he lightweight got mad about that too, but he never said nothing. So I showed him the paperwork of the where I put that shit on docket. He was like, "Cool." So he was like, another police officer came and said it was a woman or whatever. She pulls up. So he was like, "Your tags is bad. I'm gonna have to take your tags off or whatever, and you can drive the car back home, and you go get that shit taken care of, and they'll give you some new tags and shit." So I'm like, "Cool." So he goes to the back, and he was taking the tags off the car. So some told me he was gonna fucking ask about that fucking string. So this nigga, he don't even really need the string wasn't in the way about a license tag, license plate or none of that. This nigga, he over, hey, he cut the string first, and then he said, "Can you pop your trunk so I can take this string and shit off and either stuff it in the trunk or either put it in the thing," because he never checked the trunk. He told me get out the car and shit, because when he seen my background and shit, the nigga was like, "Ah, this nigga got a carrying concealed weapon, all this and that." So he checked the car, but the nigga never checked the trunk or whatever. So this nigga was like, "How you open the truck?" He said, "Can you come back here and open the truck? How you open this truck? Is it a button?" And I was like, "Nah, the button don't work." So I'm like, "Cool." So he was like, "How you open the truck then?" I'm like, "Man, only way you can open that motherfucker is if you know what I'm saying, you had a key or something." But you know what I'm saying? Like he was like, "Yeah, that's what I was ready to say, because I know it's a way if you had a key." So he was like, "Let me see your key real quick." So I went on ahead and gave the nigga the keys. And let me remind you, I forgot that I left one of the duffel bags in the car. Like I emptied all the pounds and shit out, but I left one of the duffel bags in the car. So when this nigga, he said, "All right, you can get back in the car." So he let me get back in the car. He gave me the keys. I got back in the car. So he took the string off, but after he took the string off, this nigga, basically, that was his whole reason to check the trunk and shit. That nigga started going through the trunk looking at shit. He ain't find nothing at first. Then he pulls a duffel bag out. He looks in the duffel bag. He's like, you could tell he was like, "Oh shit, I got something." So He brings the duffel bag to me. He's like, what is this? I'm like, what is it? He was like, he opened the motherfucker and he like put it so where I could see what was inside of it. Y'all, why my goof ass leave a whole empty pound bag in that motherfucker, but it had like some shake at the bottom of that motherfucker, but inside the bag, inside the duffel bag, it had like maybe a zip full of buds just at the bottom of the duffel that I didn't even know weed didn't even fell out of it. Because if I'd have knew, I'd have smoked that shit out. You know what I'm saying? It was about like almost a zip. You feel me? Worth of nugs in that motherfucker in the bottom of the duffel bag. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, yeah, man. Basically, it was my girl's car, or whatever. You feel me? But before she ended up not wanting that motherfucker, and she was like, "Do I want it?" I'm like, "Shit, here I fix up on that motherfucker and give it to the kids when they get of age or whatever." So fuck it. But at the time, it was her car, or whatever. So I tell this nigga, I was like, "It ain't bad." I was like, "That's probably my girl, her friend shit because they had just went out of town on the trip." I made something up so quick. I was like, they had just went out of town on the trip and they probably got some smoke to smoke. But I was like, at the same time, my girl don't smoke, her friends smoke or whatever. So I was like, that's probably her friends and she probably left that shit in the car. So let me remind y'all earlier, I told y'all to remember what I told y'all earlier. So he goes in one of the side of the, you know how duffel bed, some of them had a little side compartment. He go in the side compartment, finds some bra and panties in that motherfucker. So something told me to keep these brown panties in there, and I did. I never touched them motherfuckers. I was just like, man, I ain't got to go in that little side compartment. I can keep them motherfuckers in there. Fuck it. But when he seen them brown panties, that nigga believed the story that I told him. He was like, well, just tell your girl watch who she hang out with, cause she could have got in trouble for, you know what I'm saying, having this bag in the car if she would have got pulled over. So he was like, but here's what I'm gonna do. He was like, I'm gonna just take this, get rid of this or whatever, and he was like, I'm gonna let you go on about your way. He was like, he was like, you see this officer right here? I forgot the lady's last name. It was a light-skinned woman. Look around my age, like 32, 33, something like that, 34. Now, that's how old she is now, but probably, I don't know, but she looked like around that age. He was like, do you know he said the last name, the Johnsons or something like that. He was like, you know him? I'm like, they live over off whoop whoop whoop. I'm like, nah, I don't know him. Like the name he named, I really didn't know these people. And he was like, well, if I ever see you over their house doing marijuana, because he was like, they around that way, they known for trafficking and shit, a lot of weed. He was like, if I ever see you and or your girl, dumb ass nigga don't even know what my girl look like. Plus, she ain't never been locked up, so she ain't even in the system. He was like, if I ever see you or your girl over her, I'm gonna lock y'all up. I'm like, or if she see y'all over her, because he was like, that's her peoples. I'm like, what? All right, cool. Say no more. You feel me? All right, say no more. So I gets back in the car. Nigga, I was supposed to go to the store get them Rellos, but I did not. I was like, fuck this, I'm out of here. I ended up getting in the car, shaking, going back home. So I'm in the crib, hot about this shit. Like, I got all this weed, but I ain't got no Rellos. So I'm hot, you feel me? So my nigga that used to live next door to me, he walked over, he bought us some smoke. Sold him some smoke or whatever. Then he was like, her, you trying to match or whatever? I'm like, man, I ain't gonna lie, hell yeah. He was like, shit, you got some Rellos? I'm like, hell nah. He was like, damn. He was like, cuz dude, he was like, you know what I'm saying? He had to watch it. His granny in the house and she was old or whatever, so this nigga had to, like, the farthest this nigga could go without somebody else watching her was next door to my house on the porch. You feel me? So this nigga couldn't walk to the store, so he was like, shit, I give you $5 and buy your Rellos and shit if you grab me some. So I ends up, I'm like, fuck it, I need to go get some Rellos so I can smoke. So I'm like, fuck it, instead of driving, I'm ready to walk to the store. So it wasn't number like 5 minutes away. So I'm like, fuck it, I walked to the store or whatever, but I went through the back way to walk to the store. You feel me? Like, The back way is like a little, like where it got a little big ass ditch. You know what I'm saying? Look like the wood and shit. But I walks the back way to the store. Gets to the store, grabs the Rellos and shit on my way back. Some told me to go through the back way, but I'm like, I don't feel like going all the way down there, jumping over all them sticks and shit. And I don't know what the fuck down there in that little creek and shit. So I was like, I don't want to go back that way. So my dumb ass was like, I'm gonna go the front way. Biggest mistake I made, y'all. My dumb ass go the front way on my way back home. I see the fucking same police officer. This nigga hugged his horse. He was like, He was like, hey, hold on. Bruh, something told me to take off fucking running, but like my house, the distance to my house was a little distant. You feel me? Like from where I was at. You feel me? It wasn't far, but it was like too far. Like my big ass, I was smoking too much at the time, so I wasn't ready. Yeah, I don't know, but nigga, I'm like, fuck it, what the fuck this nigga want? So the nigga pulls me over. I mean, like he pulled over, got out the car, walked up to me, he was like, man, hey, I got some good news and bad news. He was like, which one you want to hear first? I'm like, nigga, what you think the good news? He was like, well, here, look, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't got no good news, but I got some bad news. I'm like, what the fuck? So this nigga was like, he was like, I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna let you go or whatever. I ain't really care because you showed me that you went and put your warrant on docket. But he was like, you got an outstanding warrant. And when I was telling my boss about the citation or whatever I gave you, this and that, he was like, he looked your name up and shit. And he was like, nah, go arrest him. He got an outstanding warrant. So he was like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna have to take you to jail. So I'm like, what the fuck? So he was like, you got anything on you that's gonna get you in trouble and shit? He was like, I ain't even gonna lie. I don't care what you got on, as long as it ain't no firearm or none of that. He was like, I'll let you. He was like, I ain't even gonna write that up or none of that. I just throw that shit away. I'm like, nah, I ain't got nothing on me but some Rellos and shit. So this nigga, he put me in the car. What I got at the back of the car, like that, right there and then I wanted to take off running. But the nigga had already like grabbed my arm, so I'm like, fuck that shit. I ain't ready to wrestle. This nigga gotta get this shit over with. So gets in the car, whatever. This nigga still got the duffel bag and shit in the car. So the nigga asked me again, he was like, man, where'd you get the bag at, man? I guess he like not believing my story or whatever. I told him again, I'm like, man, look, man, if you gonna smoke that shit, go on smoke that shit, bro. I was like, I told you, it's my girl's friend and shit. She ain't, you know what I'm saying? She forgot about this shit, so apparently she ain't want it. I thought you was ready. You said you ready to throw this shit away, so either smoke that shit or throw that shit away. It ain't mine. So he was like, and I was like, and if it was mine, y'all was gonna take the shit anyway. So I was like, go and do what you do with that. He was like, all right, cool. Takes me down there, boom, gets buckled. So the when I was in on the phone, did a little code, little conversation with my little shorty and shit. Told them to hack the little weed and shit, give it to little cuz. Little cuz pulled up, cause I'm thinking nigga gonna do a turnaround, go back to my house where ain't nobody there, and check the house and shit. You know what I'm saying? Cause like they had my car keys, but I ain't know if this nigga was gonna like keep my car, I had my car keys in my pocket, my house keys and shit. I ain't know if the nigga was gonna keep them. I put them in evidence like they supposed to do. But the nigga ended up putting them in evidence or whatever. But at the time, I ain't know, so I called my girl to, you know what I'm saying, little cuz is ready to come over or whatever. So little cuz grabbed all my shit. So then, this is another little corporate thing that got into that shit. I bet I read in this bitch too. But look though, when I got out, I goes to pick up all the weed and shit from my cousin. When I'm picking up the weed and shit, one of my other little cousins on my daddy's side, he's my cousin's friend on my mama's side. Like my other cousin on my mama's side, who had the weed that I told him come and get the weed, this nigga is my cousin on my daddy's side's friend or whatever. They friends or whatever. And this nigga was over there like, I'm in there getting the weed, putting the weed in the bags and shit. And I know what them evil, y'all listen to this. I always watch for them evil eyes. Y'all, them evil eyes be fucking watching. Like Mia X said, them motherfucking evil eyes be fucking watching, bro. So y'all gotta fucking look out for those. So As I'm putting the shit in a little bag and shit, ready to take that shit to another location. I'm looking around in the corner of my eye. That peripheral was a motherfucker. I'm looking around in the corner of my eye just to see who got the evil eyes in the room and shit. Cause it was a couple of my cousin's friends and then a couple of my cousins in there. When nobody looking at me do this shit but one person, and that was my cousin on my daddy's side. So I'm like, the fuck this nigga? I know you listen. I know you took my shit, cuz, but this nigga looking at me and shit. So I'm like, all right, if anything, you know what I'm saying? Lil' cuz took that shit, so I leaves cuz about like 2 pounds over that motherfucker out of all the shit that I took. The other half I had told my girl to get on my sister and shit. So I went to go get the other half from my sister and shit. Takes it to the other location. Comes back about a week later. A pound's gone. Whole pound's gone. I gave cuz 2 pounds. Whole pound's gone, nigga. So I'm asking cuz what happened, da 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 da. So basically, one of these niggas had to go behind cuz's back when he walked out his room or something and went in my stash and shit. So I'm sitting back waiting to see who got the money and shit, because everybody was broke at the time. So I'm waiting to see who had the money before I even try to put motherfuckers on or whatever. So about a week passed. My little cousin on my daddy's side comes over. This nigga got about like 12, 13, 1400 in his pocket. You feel me? Just flashing on social media and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where you get that money at? And one of my other little cousins, this nigga must have helped that nigga out. Because this nigga was like, he got into his brother got into a bus accident and he got a lawsuit settlement and he gave everybody $1,500 a piece. Get in the comments, y'all. Y'all already know what happened, man. That nigga must have broke your ass off too, and y'all got me, you feel me, for the P or whatever. But I don't even give a fuck, you feel me? Charge it to the game. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's my story about what happened when karma came right back twice on me. I guess it's because I hit dude or whatever, and I did what I did, you feel me, to get all the P's. And karma came back on me that way. You know what I'm saying? That's how I think about it, yes. That's how I say it, yeah. You feel me? Charge to the game, though. You feel me? But y'all like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, man. Fuck with me, man. These is real stories, man. You feel me? Like, it ain't nothing too much where a nigga get in trouble for or nothing like that. So I don't give a fuck. You feel me? Straight like that. You feel me? Got things took care of. But yeah, though. Like, subscribe. Big Love Podcast. I mean, Big Love stories and shit. You feel me? Well, I don't know if it's gonna be a podcast or what. You feel me? But that's gonna be my new shit where I'm doing shit like this, and I'm gonna be going around the city showing y'all different hoods and shit, pulling up on niggas and shit, different hoods and shit. So, man, y'all stay tuned, man. All love, man. 100 real nigga.